Just a few hours ago, I was tying a dropper loop with some fishing line. Then I wanted to answer the question of if it was possible to tie a dropper loop with a thicker rope. And I've come to the conclusion that you can tie a dropper loop with a thicker rope, and it's actually very practical, especially if you have a rope tied already between two things, and you need to make a loop like this one to maybe put a carabiner or hang something off, or any sort of use where you just need to tie something or hang something from your rope. So let's jump into this tutorial, and I'm going to show you how to tie a dropper loop with a thicker rope. Alright, we talked about it, now let's tie it. Welcome back to How To Knots. So for this dropper loop on a rope, what we're going to do is we're just going to make a loop, simple loop, okay? And for this tutorial, we're going to imagine that your rope is connected between two things already. Maybe it's not. If it's not, that's okay, like mine, but I'm just going to pretend that it is for the tutorial. So we don't have the ends of the rope. We made our loop, and it looks like this. It's just a simple crossover. So if you've ever tied a dropper loop on a fishing line, you know that you make several wraps between these two lines here. And after experimenting with the thicker rope, I found that the maximum amount of turns you can do is 3. Otherwise, it gets too difficult to tighten, especially as the rope gets larger. So we've crossed over, and now, like I said, we're gonna make 3 turns around. So I'm gonna take this lower rope, and I'm gonna go over, and we're gonna count that as 1. Then we're gonna take the rope again, and go over. There's 2, and then we're gonna take this bottom one and go one more time, 3. So there's 3 turns around. We're gonna take the bottom part of our loop, we're gonna go under, and then pull it through, okay? So I'm gonna pull it through, and then this is where you adjust the size of your loop. So if I want a bigger loop, I'm gonna take more line, or if I want a smaller loop, I would leave less. I'm just gonna pull an adequate amount for now. It's not really a big deal. So now, if you've ever done it, the dropper loop with a fishing knot, you know you usually hold the end of the loop in your teeth and you adjust. But we're not going to do that for this tutorial. So what we're going to do is we're just going to tighten each side by itself. So I'm going to take this right side, I'm just going to push this knot close to the loop here while I pull the string underneath. There we go. And same for the other side. I'm just going to push while I pull this rope here. And now simultaneously I'm going to pull both and just push. So you see that dropper loop starts to tighten. I'm going to really give it a tug here and then push. All right, here, give it one more tug, and now that is snug. And that was it. So now we have a beautiful dropper loop on a thicker rope. And as you can see, you can clip whatever you want to this, and you can have your line tied on both sides. And now you can go along your line and make as many dropper loops as you need. If you need to hang more stuff, and again, your line is already between something, then tie it. Or if your line isn't between things, you can still tie as many dropper loops as you want across your line. So it makes a very practical knot along any sort of rope. If you like this tutorial, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more knot videos. And please smash that like button and comment what you'd like to see next.